somebody you know to go and do the same, man. We are here live and direct at KPFT, man, one of the realest stations in the world. And we got a show tonight that's gonna basically just blow the doors off of the building, man. Because I have a special guest here with me tonight, man. And he's not a guest, he's family, but he's a brother, he's a friend, he's a homie, he's a genius. Everybody talking about all these geniuses out here, man. I mean, I'm sitting next to a real live one right about now, and I want to properly introduce my brother as I do all of my great distinguished guests, man. This man is a rapper, he's a poet extraordinaire, he's an actor, he's a writer, he's a PV alum, he's a South Park Coalition member.
Church.
Boys ain't know that.
Lieutenant.
Social worker. And, man, he is just my homie, man. I want to introduce y'all, man, to one of the greatest minds, one of the greatest people I know, the homie. SE7EN the poet is in the building. What's up, family?
I'm good, Sensei. What's poppin'?
Man, I'm just glad to have you here, man. I'm glad to have you here, brother. You know what's been going on with you, man? What's your mind been circulating on?
You know, Reno, in the essence of true SPC culture, stay hungry. Man, I've been grinding. I've been getting it. I've been out here. You know what I mean? A lot of cats would sit on the success that they've achieved in the city. Right. That's not the cloth I was cut from. That's not what you taught me. That's not what Nip taught me. That's not what Klondike taught me. That's not what Murder One taught me. Extend yourself. Always, never settle for the easy win.
No question.
So right now, I'm growing. Extending myself outside of my comfort zone, and I'm out here in these streets, and I'm a problem.
Without a doubt, you always have been a problem, and we mean that in the most realest form of the word. Look, hey, just to let y'all know, y'all heard us like chattering and all that before. Hey, look, we in the big room now, so we just learning. So y'all know how it is in the hood, man. We figuring this thing out, so we got it. Don't get in your feelings. This is some of the things I want to go into with you, man. We gonna jump straight into it because I do my research, but sometimes when it's people that I know that I've been around for decades and decades, I just write stuff down so I won't forget what I want to say. I already know what the business is, man. But just tell us, we gonna take it slow and move it up. Tell us what are your origins in music, and how'd you fall in love with just music in general, and who was your influences and all that?
You know, if I gotta go back, man, and be all the way thorough, you know, my mother worked at Soundwave.
Soundwave, which one? You know, we had a lot of locations back in the days.
My mother worked at Soundwaves, and before it was Soundwave, she worked at Sound Warehouse.
And for those who don't know, Soundwaves is one of the legendary record stores out here in the city of Houston. You can't find but one now, but Soundwave and Sound Warehouse, that's where we got our music from.
Right, and it gave a lot of people an opportunity. It gave a lot of people their distribution deals.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, if you wasn't rocking with Soundwaves, you really wasn't talking about it. And my mother worked at Soundwave, Sound Warehouse early. I remember my mother worked at Soundwaves and Sound Warehouse, man, and I remember her having albums that that most people could not hear or see, man.
Right.
Watch this here. I'm gonna go. Can I cap a little?
Go ahead,
see, my
man.
capping ain't different.
No, do your thing.
You know, boys talk about this one and that one. Yeah, I'm out here with such and such. I'm out here with, hey, say, man, I have seen my mother go toe to toe in love.
Right.
Shaka Khan done been in my living room, bro.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? I've seen my mother sit down with Patty. You know what I mean? Because, bro.
Was your mother in the music business? Did she do any music, or she was just
my
around
mother
the
sung
music?
background for
Okay.
Teddy.
Cool, okay, cool.
So that's how we were connected like that.
Right.
The first Budweiser Superfest, when they had a ride at the Astrodome.
Yeah.
I was 4. Yeah. Me and my uncle, my mother's little brother, we showed up in a limo.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I've been popping.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
so all these cats with the capping and everything, and when they talking about oh, well, she can sing,
Yeah.
but can she sing?
Can she put that A in it, man?
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
Come on,
and
man.
so that's the cloth I was cut from. I've been a musician. I understand the I understand the five spaces. I mean, the five lines and four spaces on a different level: treble clef and bass clef. I can read and write music on sight.
And see, that's the thing. One of my biggest regrets is that I didn't learn how to read music and learn how to write music, man. So to hear you say that is a beautiful thing, especially as you transition over into hip hop. When we come into that realm, it's about just beats, about drums. Especially in those early days, we hardly didn't even want any instrumentation in it. We just wanted the bass, the kick, and the snare. So
Right.
how was that? Was that something you concealed in your younger years, that you knew how to read and write music? Or was it something that you were just like, okay, you know what? When the time comes, I'll break into that.
Nah, not at all. Reno, what it really was, and I know you gonna remember this, man. You had social media was not out.
That's right. That's right. That's
So
right.
in the hood, you had certain factors that allowed you swag.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
one of the things that allowed us swag was being able to dance.
Yeah.
You had the sheet shakers.
Right.
You had the snake boys.
The sheet shake, the night freaks.
Night freaks, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And it went down at the SPN, and it went down at St. Francis, and it went down at St. Philip's. You also had that sect of MCs.
Right.
People made just discredited as a line, but it's a line that say K-Rino and Nip made Belford and MLK famous.
Man,
I was there that day,
man,
bro.
come on.
I was there. You know what I'm saying? I was in middle school, bro. I remember thinking I was gonna get in trouble because to cross Cullen, that's past the house.
Yeah.
You supposed to be home. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Why are you way down? But
Right.
that was legendary, bro. And now, man, you can't even get the kids to read and write up and down MLK Scott or Cullen. And I have seen some of the best lyricists that Houston has to offer come from the South Side. So when you talk about me reading and writing music, it was just one of the things to do, because to be accepted as far as Pop McGriff was at Worthing, and Doc at Cashmere, and all the other strong band directors that held that marching one. To be in a marching band was 100.
Right. Right.
But you had to produce. You had to be able to march. You had to be able to dance. You had to be able to play while you danced.
Right.
Which meant you had to know your music, and that's the cloth that I'm cut from.
Well, let me ask you this, because like I said, Nip was here last week. It's funny we mentioned that, but one of the unique things that I always liked about you, other than your elite skill, you have a very unique voice. Your actual voice. Sometimes, you know how people tell me, man, they rapping. Rakim has a distinct voice, and different artists, you hear him one time, you know him anytime you hear him. Your voice have always been to me in that category that it's got a real sinister, wicked tone to it. So, in terms of standing toe to toe with somebody in a battle rap, a lot of the influence that you're gonna have over the crowd is just soon as you say the first word, mixed in with the skill itself, man. And you one of those rappers, you remind me of Point Blank, because you one of those rappers who your talking voice and your rapping voice is the same.
Right.
If we hear you rap, but we never met you, and you was ordering something through the drive-through, we're like, that's 7 right there.
Right, that's 7.
Yeah.
Man, real spill, bro. Reno, bro, it's, I ain't gonna get emotional. I am, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm having to compose myself, bro. But when you say things like that to me, and I have to shoot it back at you, that's because I was taught from a different perspective. You were the same dude, bro. If I call you at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock on a Sunday, 8 o'clock on a Monday, Wednesday, it don't matter. Reno sound the same. That's you know you talking to Reno. You know what I'm saying? You know you talking to Nip.
Right.
You know you talking to Klondike. And that's the cloth that I was cut from. I mean, I never will forget. You know, somebody was, they ran, people were scared.
Yeah.
I'm not finna get in the circle with Reno. I never forget that day, bro. You pushed me forward in the bathroom at St. Francis. So now I'm out here.
Right.
I got to do what I said I'm gonna do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I proved myself that night. And I never forget, you know what I'm saying, you bro, I never forget you picking me up to put me on the stage because I couldn't see over the turntables, you know what I mean?
And see, he was he was a little guy with the Kid and Play flat top, man, and he was standing in the cut, just watching. Look, it's growing in, that's growing back now. You know, all things come back around. But,
man,
but it was amazing because we didn't even know that years later he would become the monster that he was absorbing that, and that he would become the monster that he is today. And I mean, it was like unleashing a wild animal from his cage, man. He salivated for the mic, and when he got his opportunity, he made everybody. He made me. He made Nip. He made Cat. He made AC Chill, Murder. All of us be like, okay, young fella got something.
You know
legitimately, because you know everybody doesn't get accepted into that circle in an immediate fashion. Like
sir.
So you had to take that in, like, wow, this guy, man, this young guy got something, and it was legitimate, bro. So let me go into something else, because what about your transition into poetry? Because now it's crazy, because from your origins, we know you as a rapper, but a lot of people that know you now based on your status as a poet, they don't even know that your origins are in rap. So how did the transition from rap to poetry take place, and for you?
You want the truth, or you want me to sugarcoat?
Oh man, I want the uncut raw truth. That's how we do it on K-Rino Radio, man.
So based on my teachings, I don't even claim to be a general. I'm a lieutenant. I'm a lieutenant in the SPC.
Come on.
Based on how I was crafted for war, what you gonna do with me?
Wow.
Put me on the front of the song, what you gonna say after me? Give me the bridge, it's my song now. Give me the end of the song, nobody remembers nobody who went before me. And here go the thing. Them dudes, they did all of that, and I ain't knocking nobody, bro. They did all that. Look at my chain, look at my jewelry, look at what I got on. The cloth I was cut from, man, I don't care about none of that. I'll rip all that off you with my tongue, nigga. You'll walk out of here naked.
Yeah, we strangle you with jewelry, man.
So guess what they did?
Yeah.
They stopped inviting me to the studio.
The highest compliment they can pay.
Cause I was a problem.
Right. The highest compliment that they can pay you is to stop fooling with you.
They stopped cause I would force them.
Right.
To step their game up. You dig? Hey man, look here. And I don't care who you call right now, bro. I don't care who you call in South Park or 3rd Ward or 5th Ward. I'm sitting here with my sensei. Bring it right now. That's how it came to the poetry. Man, I was spitting raps.
Right.
Acapella.
Right.
Because I couldn't get no beats.
Come on.
And I learned how to sit outside on Main and Milam and talk to people who had disposable income that would patronize me. And that's how the whole poetry thing came about. Because right now, I'm a battle MC.
I already know.
And that's the cloth I was cut from. And when it came to stunting, you know, we always stunted with our intellectual prowess.
Right.
But when it came to simpleness, look at my car, look at my chick, look at my clothes. We kind of, the world took that. You know what I mean? And the lyricists, the true nature of hip hop had to take a back seat to capping. And that is the, man, honestly, that is when underground hip hop developed. Cause what they was doing, they was on their way to mainstream.
Right.
We was looking at them like, man, I ain't never seen you in the cafeteria.
Right. Right.
I ain't never seen you at the end of the lunch table.
Right. Right.
I ain't never seen you in the bathroom. At the
No
day.
doubt.
And now
No doubt.
and now you, I ain't gonna say, I ain't gonna
Oh
spell.
man, look, I know. Trust me. I've been down those roads where got some of the same people who criticized me for rapping in the bathroom. I see them 10 years later. They tell me, "Yeah, I got a little label now, man." And, so okay. But it's interesting what you said because as the great Bang just walked in, Mo Bang just walked in the
My
building.
brother
He's
say,
in here,
man.
Catch a seat right there, Bang. You know you are.
Bang bang.
You know this a special treat tonight. Put a pair of them headphones.
You
on
ain't
too,
tell me
brother.
it was coming. You ain't tell me broski was coming.
I ain't know he was coming either. But this his house, so he come here. If I'm here, he here. He blessed. He welcome to be here. What I was going to ask you too, because something you told me a while back. Because one night you called me, and they had some kind of competition going on, like it was like a little poetry thing going on. It was like a slam, and you was like, it was a team thing, and you hit me up and was like, man, we need you. It's gonna be 3 or 4 of us on this team against 3 or 4. And I was like, you know, man, that ain't really my element. You was like, man, just be you. You know, just be K-Rino. Just come through and do what you do. And we gonna go in with that battle mentality. And you was telling me that because you was saying that was one of the things that helped to elevate you as a poet. That when you stepped on that microphone, you still in that South Park battle mind frame.
I'm still in battle mode.
Wow.
I'm still in battle mode. You know, and let me be honest. We lost that night.
Well, they say we lost that night.
They say we lost that night.
According to the official documentation, we lost that night. But as a battle rapper, look, you know when you know. And, you know, we gonna always feel like we got robbed, but in reality, we got robbed. Plain and simple.
Listen, man.
You know? If me and him lose, we got robbed.
The curator of the event said to me the next day, he said, Sev, I can't lie, they robbed you. I never forget that ride home. You know what I'm saying? It's like I got a ride home with my teacher. It's like Jackie Chan getting beat up and he got to ride home with Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you, and bro, you know, I've never competed since that night.
Yeah.
I've never competed since that night, and I never forget what you told me when you said, based on repertoire and accomplishments, who are they to judge you?
Right.
They not even in a position to judge you. And I don't know if you remember, Reno, we lost on a coin flip.
Right. Right. No, I didn't remember that. I didn't.
That lady flipped that coin,
wow,
man.
Okay.
We lost, and she told her friend. She said, you better be glad I flipped this coin." And I looked at her and I said, "Or what?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I never competed again after that night because I understood that after you've been winning so long, people just want to see you lose.
Without a doubt. It's the Floyd Mayweather syndrome.
Yeah, they just want to see you lose, man.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, man.
People show up. It goes back to Muhammad Ali. The stadiums was filled because it was half the people was his fans, but half the people was there just because they wanted to say they was there when he took the L.
Right.
And he never took the L, or it took a long time for him to take the L. I mean, and I feel you on that because it's something that you know, my big brother Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad, he said that we was talking about debating like certain little scholars and this and that, and he say, I only debate my equals. He say all others I teach. So at some point you reach a point in your life where it's like, man, you know, this is beneath me. You know, it's beneath, because I actually competed another time after that and got robbed again. I was called into a situation and I got robbed again. So after that, I was like, you know what? this ain't my thing, no way, this formal stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm on street corners and, like you say, in bathrooms and all that. So maybe that phase have passed me by. That ain't my thing, man. We sitting here with the great Seven the Poet, man. If y'all want to call in and chop it up with the homie, man, the number is 713-526-KPFT. 713-526-KPFT. We gonna keep it rolling, man. Now, as you start like rising in the ranks as a poet, cause I witnessed it. I'm like, man, my boy just he's starting to elevate. I would see you at these big events, and they would bring you out, and you'd be spitting poetry in front of 3, 4, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people, man. What kind of opposition, if any, did you start to run into once you started to kind of ascend in status as a poet in the game?
Man, it is with great disappointment that I say, watch this here, Reno. The minute I started doing something fake, I don't know if anybody's ever seen Donnie Brasco. When Pacino was under suspicion by the mafia, they called him in.
Right.
He knew he wasn't coming home.
Right.
I've always carried myself. We've always carried ourselves like that.
Right.
If I had done something fake, something fraud, I'd have got the phone call. Hey man, come in.
Yeah.
We need to holler at you.
Yeah.
That dude right there, Lang Bang,
My brother.
Langston Carrier, Bang, Carrier Media Solutions.
Mo Bang.
Mo Bang for your buck, Mo Bang me. That dude right there don't, man, when I think it's some of my lives.
Yeah.
That man will look me in my eyes and say, man, sit down.
Straight shooter.
I don't have no yes man.
Without a doubt.
So it was real interesting to watch the people who had lifted me up start to tear me down.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my crew.
Right.
They were new. They didn't know what cloth I was cut from. They didn't know about the glass. I'm like, well, my partners ain't saying nothing. Word to B1. B1 said one of the realest things ever. Man, I went to B1 and I apologized, bro. I said, look, one, I know we G's out here. I know we gangster rappers, we battle rappers, man, and I'm out here doing this poetry because this when the streets was a little different.
Right.
99, 2000.
Right.
Man, one said to me, say, Self, you are one of the most prolific writers, and I count. And one thing that nobody can deny, on all them recordings, the room is packed.
Right.
And it's majority females in there listening and clapping and enjoying your music. Man, I made a significant amount of money from that. But it was interesting to watch people that had celebrated start to hate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a people syndrome. I don't know if it's a female syndrome or if it's just, man, we tear down our heroes, bro.
It's just a basic element of envy that creeps up in situations, and because people don't have a grasp of where blessings come from. So if I see my brother Bang starting to ascend in whatever field of endeavor that he's working in, and I start to develop seeds of envy in my heart, then I'm not mad at him. I'm really mad at the Creator, because that's who blessed him. But I'm going to take that out on him because he's right there in front of me. So when we have that type of feeling of envy towards each other, it's only because we have a disappointment in ourselves that we're not manifesting our own potential. So that's really what it boils down to, because when you winning, he winning, she winning, we all winning, then we have a sense of security, of self-esteem about ourselves, where I can look at your success and be like, my boy doing that, because I'm good within myself. So it's just a part of us that we got to work on as a whole, and
Man,
defeat. That's all it is.
That's not the cloth I was cut from.
Right.
I saw, man, I done seen, and I ain't gonna call them names. When I say this, Where the SPC is concerned, anybody can take a L any Sunday,
No question.
any Friday,
No
any
question.
Saturday.
No
I never forget, man, coming to McGregor and walking in an LV house
Right.
in that backyard.
Right, no doubt. North Rose Neat.
And the whole SPC back
Yeah.
there, and then everybody writing, and it might get intense.
Right.
You better have your shit.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
But you better be ready.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I never forget that night Nip put us all out. Hey man, y'all gotta go. I'm on something else right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? And because we appreciate the rank, we know who the generals are.
Right.
There's certain people Nip couldn't ask to leave.
Right.
Nip can call up here right now.
Right.
There's certain people you couldn't ask to leave. There's certain people, hey, understand your rank and understand where you are.
Yeah, no
but
doubt.
be ready at all times, because you don't know who gonna call you out.
That's
And you
right.
and be ready.
And I always talked about them days because the competitive nature, the righteous competitive tension that was in the room when you look over there and Cat got a pen and a pad and you don't know what he coming up with.
Man, y'all know what?
Nip got a pen and a pad, you know, telling what Nip's saying. AC, you know, so it's just, it was all that steel sharpened steel mentality. And, you know, we talked about that last week, man. We sitting here with SE7EN the poet. Bang, what's up, man? Holler at the people real quick.
Hey, what's going on? Blessings
Bang, bang.
on blessings to all the kings and queens.
Man, let them know who you are, man. Let them know who you are.
Smoke bang for your buck, man.
Man, you got a radio
Yes,
voice,
yeah.
man.
This boy is trying to be
Bang.
sexy now.
Watch out, my brother.
Man, don't come in here with
I'm
these
here,
Terrence
man.
Howard voices, man.
Hey, man, I'm here, man.
Boy, just watch
Yes, yeah,
Empire or
man.
something.
We glad to have you here, man. If y'all want to
Appreciate
call
y'all,
in
man.
again, the number 713-526-KPFT. Holler at the great one, SE7EN the poet, man. We gonna keep on going. We gonna move into this thing, man. Now, people don't know. Are you still a school teacher?
No.
Okay. How long has it been since you exited from being? A
I
school
have
teacher?
not been in corporate education in 3 years.
3 years. So you not that far removed from it, though.
I'm not. I'm
okay.
not.
So you still kind of got a handle on the mental.
I just spoke
climate.
out of school yesterday.
Right, so you still got to handle it. How was your poetry and rap and that experience? How were you able to kind of translate that over and use that in terms of relating to that younger generation when you was doing that?
Say, man, watch this up. Listen, I'm one of the coldest teachers. I'm one of the coldest educators that the city has ever seen. I have students to this day. Man, some of my professors and teachers
Right.
contact me with a different level of reverence to this day. Not only was I, man, it's so cliche. Not only was I a good student, I returned to shine as a jewel to their accomplishments.
Right.
That I was a good teacher based on what they had shown me.
Right.
And man, I can go on my inbox and I have students from 94 all the way to current
Right.
that still converse with me, that still seek my wisdom, that still seek my teachings. I never forget
Addicts.
Addicts Middle School. Watch this up. Man, I taught special ed.
Right.
My principal foundation of education in my special ed classroom was that special ed does not exist.
Come on, man.
You have a different level of learning. These people have given you this and they want you to believe that you're handicapped, but you are in fact not.
Right.
Let me show you. My students, bro, would walk in the hallway and challenge the AP kids. They would challenge the GT kids. I bet you don't know this.
Right.
I bet you don't know that. And my kids were so aggressive about what they knew, so confident about what they knew. None of the other students, the regular ed students, couldn't even handle. Now here go the killer. I was still alive in the streets. Man, because I can call on my brothers and make certain things happen. Bang. Martell Music, Turning Point Music
Turning Point Records in the building.
came to my school, bro. Set up a sound booth in the hallway
Wow.
and allowed all the 8th graders come freestyle to unlimited
That sound like
instrumentals.
bang stuff right there.
Man,
Straight up.
we recorded one of the coldest freestyle tapes that Sunnyside has ever seen. No adults, all kids.
Right.
We sold the freestyle tape and helped finance the 8th grade
Wow.
graduation trip.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Free. A man didn't charge me nothing.
Yeah.
He brought qualified sound
Yeah.
engineers
Yeah.
to Addicts Middle School.
Right.
And man, I'm talking about 3 pieces of plywood.
Yeah, that's like some on the spot career day type stuff, man. But just done from the kindness of your heart, though. You know, that's real.
But the kids, they had listened to so many Kiki albums, so many Slim Thug albums,
Right.
but them dudes wasn't finna come in the studio and let you get on a song with them. Langston, Bang, Lane Carrier, man, put together. I told Lane what I wanted. Man, Lane brought a 3-piece plywood. And when you opened it up, it had the egg crate inside with the window.
Wow.
So they could see Lane tell them,
Right.
go. Shouts out to Rello. Shouts out to Pimp Game Shane.
Wow.
You know what I mean? These grown men
Had the beat making class.
had
with
the
Doc
beat making class with his brother, Big Doc.
Right.
And they showed them how to make beats,
and copyright. back
how to
then.
record, and how to copyright their lyrics back then. Man, I'm talking, bro, this is
2001.
2001, 2002.
2000.
Wow.
And man, to this day,
Huh.
kids from my middle school class are hitting me saying, thank you.
Man, because that's number one. That's something that wouldn't be even expected to be done in kind of in an informal kind of way, you know. But also when people exercise that level of caring to youngsters who may not have ever even experienced that, they don't ever forget it. They don't forget that,
They
bro.
never, man.
Yeah.
Man, kids don't care unless they know you care.
Yeah, man. Look. That's look. Brother Jesse Muhammad was on my show, and I quoted this a couple of times since then. He said, "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care."
Right.
And that's what it all boils down to, man. And here you are, years later, removed. That impact is still there because one thing about young people, they could see through the falsehoods. They could see through who faking and shaking. They know who being real, who really care, who don't have an agenda. So if they still hitting you up after all these years, then that aura was just bleeding off of you and it landed on it. And guess what they gonna do? They gonna do the same things for somebody down the line.
With their kids.
Yeah.
Man, let me say something. Some of them kids that they diagnosed with ADHD,
Right.
you know what I mean? It sound like a television. But, you know what I mean? With all those sicknesses or oh, this kid is emotionally disturbed or this kid has a learning disability. Man, them kids will never forget
Right.
that I told them, you do not have a learning disability.
Right.
You are no more emotional than anybody else. Don't buy into the labels. Bro, people can cap and talk about it. I got the text in my inbox, in my phone from my former students that say thank you. Nothing as a student to the game, bro. How you let me know you're proud of me and my accomplishments. Say, man, my 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, and 9th, and 10th, and 11th, and 12th grade teachers tell me the same thing because I returned to give back.
Right.
And I sat in the teacher's lounge with the same people that paddled my butt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they had to respect it, like, say, man, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, thank you.
Right.
Cause it was some, man, bro, Lang know. It's nothing I'd ever share with you since say out of respect. You know what I'm saying? Man, I was hustling, bro. I was selling a bunch of dope. You know what I'm saying? I was out here with guns, 357s. I'm 14 years old, and people wrote me off.
Right.
He not gonna be nothing.
Right. Right.
He not gonna do nothing. You know, and they never understood that the words, the lyricism, that was my outlet. Man, I would survive Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday just to make sure I was at the Spin or at St. Philip's,
Yeah, no question.
or at St. Francis
Right. Right.
on Friday night.
And these were like little dance halls at Catholic churches where we used to meet up and do our thing. It's crazy they let us do all that in them Catholic churches back then.
Man, they sold Bill.
It was a lot more going on than rapping back in them days,
They
man.
sold Bill at the
Still
church.
like shit.
Without a doubt, man. And we was teenagers back then. What's one more question about the whole educational thing? Because I'm just out of curiosity. What did you see as an educator as being the differences between the students now compared to when we was in school, if any?
The primary thing is, well, let me not say primary. It's twofold.
Yeah.
It's twofold. Let's go with the cliche first. The parents are different. When we were in school, parents were a factor.
Active, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, mama might not come to everything. Because what you don't want her to do is have to come up
Right,
there.
no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Old man might not come to everything. But what you don't want is him to have to come up there.
Right.
But here go the kicker. Here go the kicker about us. Man, I remember being on the phone. This is prior to cell phones. And I remember being on the phone with Nip. Write it again. Rewrite that.
Right.
I'm on the phone and this man is telling me
Yeah.
it's not strong enough.
Right.
He's not an English teacher.
Right.
This is not grammar school. This is not literature. This is iron sharpen iron. One respected male in the community on the phone with me and my squad saying, you can do better than
Come
that.
on now.
And that's the thing. We held each other to a different standard.
Man, without a doubt.
Say, you cannot, I could be stepping out on a limb here, but it's worth it. I do not believe there is a member of the SPC who is illiterate.
Oh man, absolutely. I can't think of anybody either. And the thing is, what people don't understand, you may not be the best speller. You may not be the most articulate individual in the world, but that doesn't have any bearing on your intelligence. You may just, I can't actually relay it the way I want to or as good as this guy, but my skill set may consist of still something that his may not. And vice versa, and just crisscrossing line. And that's what made us unique in that 10 people could be on a click song and you're gonna get 10 different styles.
Hey,
10 different personalities, and it's like the song is going in a different direction. Okay, this guy's coming in, he kidding it, and everybody's grooving to it. Then this guy comes in and takes it in another direction. Now we all over here grooving the same way. So that unique mix of personalities and styles and confidence. Because the one thing about us is that everybody had confidence. Everybody had that belief in themselves, and you had to even get on the song.
and we had a certain level of respect for each other's intellect. I know I can
Not step in the circle and say anything.
Who? What? Stop! Hey, stop the music. What did you just say, dog? That didn't. I couldn't make no sounds. I saw stick 'em. Yeah, I couldn't make no sounds.
And if you made a sound, it better be your own. Something you innovated and originated.
Say, man, word. Hey, shouts out to Icy Hot.
No doubt.
All I hear is helicopters sucking wind up. If you made the sound in your rhyme, it had to be relevant.
Right,
It couldn't
right.
be a space filler,
Right,
or I'm gonna just say this because it sound.
Right.
Man, we ain't do none of that, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it's a different time, but I feel like we have a responsibility to, just like we telling them now, we got to let them young guys know that it's okay to like an artist, but it's not okay to try to rap like that artist. Find your own.
See, first generation hip hop, which is what we are, you know, I think they are missing that element that you always had to bring something to the game. Yeah. You know, I was asked a question today on Amazing 102.5, who's the better MC, Rakim or Eminem? I said, well, what's our criteria of judgment?
Right.
They said the development of styles. I said, okay, let's talk about that. When Rakim came out, there was not that many styles. Rakim wasn't finna change his voice and talk like a Australian, or talk like a British person, or, you know, do no pop. Hey, let me fit in, and how about this? And this is main rock. You wasn't finna get that out of the R.
Right, it was straight to the head. Yeah.
I ain't no joke.
Right.
He meant that.
Right.
Boys came out with joke rhymes.
Right.
Yeah.
No
So, oh well, it's levels to MCing. I totally agree as an MC.
Right.
So if we have to judge off levels, I would have to say Eminem has more levels than Rakim. Pound for pound, MCing though, cause to me MC means more. Right. If there was no Rakim,
thank you,
there would definitely not be an man.
And see, and what happens is the people who come first, they kind of get lost in the mix, because the innovations that they instituted, somebody else kind of take them and make them mainstream, and then they get all the credit for them. See, like for you to mention Rakim, it's like he's like the first MC I could think of that was doing what they call today as multi-syllable rhyme connections, where he would take 3 or 4 words and make it rhyme with one. You know what I'm saying? So he would say, because my strategy has to be tragedy, catastrophe.
And after this, you'll call me your tragedy, my melody.
Nobody was really doing, maybe Mo D was doing it too, but that's a foundation that any pure lyricist kind of built off of, including myself. Like, man, how did he take 3 words and make? So we could never.
Intellectually speaking,
Rakim was the first intellectual gangster in hip hop.
Wow.
Jay-Z swag is based off of Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane is based off Rakim. The whole no smile, I'm a G, don't play with me. That's all. I'm the R, the A to the K, I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am?
Well, I mean, he not the God MC for nothing. You know, that's why they call him that, man. But tonight we sitting here with the God MC / God Poet, my brother, SE7EN the Poet, man. Once again, man, y'all acting kind of scary, man. 713-526-KPFT. The homie Murder One is in the building. The homie Black Cat is in the building. And my homie Kern for No Regret Media is here, man. We're going to go into something else that's been kind of hot right now, man. We're going to talk about this whole little Kanye thing.
Come on.
And normally, you know, I'll be like, I don't even get into that stuff. You know, I kind of let it happen. But anything that kind of is spoken on that kind of level where it mentions slavery, and I know that a person with that kind of pull and reach, his words may affect and cause a major ripple in the game, then I got to speak on it. I'm going to give my take on it real quick, and then I'll let you elaborate and bang. If you want to jump in, you're more than welcome as well. For those that might not know, you've been living under a rock, Kanye made a comment on TMZ where he said that slavery was a choice. And he said, hey, man, y'all been here for 400 years, man. That's a choice. Okay, now, of course, me, I try to look at it from all angles, but I totally disagree with Kanye. But I looked at it from who this guy is, number one. For me, I don't have anything personal against that brother, because he is a brother, and I don't have any knock against him. But I do understand where ignorance comes into play. And sometimes ignorance is just being stupid. Sometimes ignorance is in the form of the word that I just don't know. So maybe he doesn't understand the history, or maybe he doesn't understand the impact that the transatlantic slave trade had on black people, because he's so far removed now based on his status and his money. But no, sir, slavery was not a choice, because anytime a people is forcibly kidnapped from their homeland, and their language and their names and their religion and all of their cultures are stripped from them forcibly, you put in a position where you are not even allowed to learn how to read. If you are found to be knowing how to read, you would be beaten or killed. If you had a child, that child could be immediately taken from birth and sold before you got a chance to hold your baby. These are not choices, and these are things that maybe he doesn't understand that level of history and the conditioning process that black people went under within a 64-year period from 1555 to 1619, because it's been documented in some places that the first slavery took place in 1619, when actually that first ship came in 1555, with John Hawkins on the ship called Jesus and all that. In that 64-year period, the slaves were subjected to some of the worst inhumane treatment that people could be subjected to, both physically and mentally. So they had, in other words, they had to break the mindset down, like a pimp and a prostitute. When a pimp doesn't care about the prostitute's body, he cares about her mind. So once he controls her mind, the pimp can be in Alaska, the prostitute can be in Houston, she gonna still do what the pimp wants her to do. So that's the conditioning that we went under all through the Willie Lynch and all of that. So I don't think he understood that to say it was a choice, because we still affected by it right now. Because they say, well, it was more of us. Why didn't they just do this? That was slave revolts. You had the Nat Turners. You had the Underground Railroad with Harriet Tubman, which was a slave revolt. But at the end of the day, when you have that kind of control over a people's mindset, the fear that's instilled in them will cause greater numbers to still bow down to fewer numbers, even when they can take over. And you're seeing that right now, because you'll see a police officer, one police officer beat the hell out of one black person, and it'd be 50 people standing around there filming, and instead of taking action to get that police officer off of that brother, off of that sister. So, yeah, Kanye, slavery was a choice, but it was a choice that we didn't make. Somebody else chose it for us, and that was the slave master. But I want to get your take on that, little bro.
I feel what he's saying to a certain degree. I don't necessarily agree, but I understand what he was trying to relate. And this is my thing, because I know gladiators. Man, we come from an era, Reno, where the bright-skinned dude, we saw him just get beat up for no reason.
Right.
You can't beat Bang up for no reason. You can't just, I'm going to haul off and swing on Bang because he bright-skinned. He like, no, don't do that. Right. It's going to be some repercussions. So when Kanye said 400 years sound like a choice, Reno, I done seen walk into a party, this ain't me. Right. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? That's a choice. You chose to lead a party. So when Kanye said that, yeah, it came off like he was discounting, you know, everything that had happened. But for 400 years, man, if you stay in that situation, come on, bro. Like you just said, watch this up. In the midst of slavery, I may get killed, but I'm going to teach myself how to read. Why didn't that dude that taught himself, or that lady who taught themselves how to read, what were they not scared of that you were scared of? It's a choice. Reno, watch this up. Bro, I heard the rhyme that you shot at him.
Right.
But it's a lot of MCs that would not dare.
Right.
You had no fear. You know what I mean? Sometimes fear is the only thing that holds us back, bro. So I can't subscribe to fear. Man, I bungee jump. I jump. I skydive. I am afraid. It's nothing I won't do, bro. Because I'm not scared of. CeeLo said it best. I'm afraid because I have no fear. Bang has had to calm me down several times and say, hey, bro, everybody not soldiers. I go to war quick. It's documented. The thing, I feel what Kanye was trying to say, as a people, we must have chosen this way of life. We could have overthrown. Let's say we didn't overthrow. There were individuals who learned how to read to overcome. Let's say they didn't learn how to read. Individuals who chose to ride with Harriet to get away. You always had a choice. Give me liberty or give me death. Big said it best. I'd rather live on my feet than die on my knees.
It's one thing that I think about that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and we view it from different perspectives. He said that the slave master put fear in us when we were babies. And a recent study indicated that the fear that white people put in black people during that period of time was so extreme that it has actually become a part of our DNA to this very day. So that reflects in how we deal with police officers and all that. So now we are about 100, close to 160 years removed from physical slavery, from the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863. Now, the word emancipation, I was listening to a speech that Mr. Farrakhan did, and he said that emancipation means to free from my hand, but not from my control.
Wow.
So when you take generations and generations and generations of people who have witnessed public lynchings, witnessed black men being castrated, burned at the stake, and all of these tactics were done in order to strike fear in the individuals who were not being hung and castrated, then that fear sets in, which made it possible for them to control us. I don't personally think that Kanye knew that history, and mixed in with the fact that there are other speculations that, okay, well, maybe this guy's just doing this for shock value. Maybe he got an album coming and things, which would make it worse to me, because if you try to use that kind of platform, then yeah, you really out of there. So, you know, that's something I wanted to touch on, and you can get the last word on that.
No, I want to ask some questions to the members in here. Bang. Castrate you, cut off your feet, whatever. I don't believe Bang to have any fear.
Right.
Reno, I cut off amputate you, take the books away from you, let you be illiterate.
Right.
I don't believe you to have no fear. Before, and you know, you had LV.
Right.
I had you. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, and we never had them conversations when I was 9, 10 years old. So my thing is, what was missing that, man, I didn't grow up scared of y'all, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why is everybody scared? I ain't scared of nothing.
Well, see, and then also you got to look too. We are so many decades removed from living in that time period, and the fear it's not always about fear. Also, that when we say it was a choice, sometimes it was other things, just not having the knowledge of certain aspects of life that could free you, like business, the art of just mating, warfare, all of these three things that the enemy have kept from us. So in that regard, it ain't always a physical situation.
So with that, I say this. When that man said 400 years seemed like a choice, well, now we in year 600. Y'all still scared.
And we still ignorant, because we don't have, because of that, because of what was done 400 plus years ago.
But you're not.
We still suffering the effects.
He's not.
Yeah.
Bang's not. She's not. He's not. So at that point, I have to say, why do you choose that? Why do you choose to be okay with mediocrity? Why will you not wake up and be aggressive about your salvation? When you got examples. Hey, watch this here. We started the interview off with me saying I have been removed from corporate education from 3 years.
Right.
I am living the best life I've ever. This man told me I was above them people. This man told Langston Carrier told me I was above them people 18 years ago. Slave mentality. Well, that first and 15 gonna come. I get to drive this. I get to drive that.
But I'll say this, one thing that Sister Harriet said, she said, I freed dozens and dozens of slaves, but I would have freed more if they knew they were slaves. So we kind of suffering from that even to this day, that for those, to answer that part of the question, a lot of us still don't think we in a bad situation. We got about 2 minutes left. I want to give you opportunity. But first I want to thank you, man, because this been an honor to have you here, man. I'm grateful for you to be here, man, without a doubt. And give them all your social media, how they can reach out to you, where they want to book you, or just holler at you. Tell them everything.
Sorry, man, I got it real simple. Go on your phone right now. Go into your text app. Where you would put a phone number, I want you to put the number 54244. Then I want you to go down where you would send somebody the message and simply text #7 54244. Text #7 54244. All my social media come up. Anything is at 7 the Poet. SE7EN THEPOET. But if you really want to reach out to me, holler at the sensei and he gonna give you Rock V phone number.
Man, look, and there we have it, man. 7 the Poet, K-Rino Radio, man. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitter at the real K-Rino, man. Hey, I got nothing but love. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next Friday. We'll have another explosive episode, man. K-Rino Radio. Next time we bring 7 on, we'll get him to spit something. One love.